Chuckload of Comics is brought to you by Cold War Games, creators of Squarriors, Fight Your Friends, and Lady Death Last Stand. For more information, visit coldwar.us.
Oh, I can't wait.
The second trailer that broke the internet this week,
Another sequel.
I've never seen. Spider-Man Far From Home, the trailer. Let's just start off with the spoiler warning.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the
You
trailer.
got-
John, what is it? What a weird world we live in where a movie... People are always complaining that the trailer spoils the movie. Now we have trailers that spoil other
Other
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a cool thing? You know, spoiling one film that's just been in theaters for 3 weeks and you're going to spoil it
Yeah, I
already?
think it's great because that means the movies are all intertwined. And
Yeah.
it is a universe, you know, and it's epic, and it's the only way to describe it. I'm looking really forward to it. The effects are incredible. You know, I
Yeah,
remember in
Mysterio
time-
looks awesome.
I remember Clash of the Titans. That was good effects back then.
Right.
And you know, movies are an experience now. You know, it's just not. You want to escape from reality, and they do that, especially with this movie. I'm looking forward to it. Mysterio is gonna warp reality. We all know what he does, so things are gonna look great.
Well, let's talk about Mysterio for just a second. This trailer makes it look like Mysterio is going to be the good guy.
Right?
Yeah,
Obviously, we
is
know
not a
Mysterio is
good
not
guy.
a hero. He's a bad guy.
yeah.
They talk about the multiverse for like the first time, I think, in the MCU. They say that Nick Fury says that the snap opened up a rip in reality that has opened up a world of multiverse
Portals. Yeah.
portals. You can now introduce the Fantastic Four coming from other realities. You can introduce the X-Men through other realities. I mean,
It's perfect.
yeah,
They were
this is-
thinking.
it's like the perfect film to wrap up Phase 3.
Right.
Absolutely, and I heard your fan fiction about that. You care to discuss that, or is that off topic?
No, let's talk about my theory. It's not my personal theory. I mean, the theory's out on the internet. Obviously, we know Mysterio's not a good guy.
Right.
Yeah, he's a bad
So
guy.
he's gonna. I mean, he's known as an illusionist, a trickster. He pulls the wool over people's eyes professionally.
Right.
I think that Nick Fury isn't even Nick Fury.
Right.
I
Because
think-
why would he partner with a
villain,
A
yeah.
villain, yeah.
Exactly. I think Nick Fury or Maria Hill, one of them, is actually the Chameleon, the very first villain from
Interesting.
Amazing Spider-Man #1. Spider-Man's first villain. We've never seen him referenced in any of the movies.
Wow.
What if the Chameleon is actually posing as Nick Fury? The Chameleon and Mysterio team up. Maybe there isn't even a multi-universe of the multiverse. Maybe that's just all BS
Oh my
that they're
gosh.
selling to young Peter Parker.
This is
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, good theory.
I think everything we've seen in this trailer is going to take place in the first 30 minutes of the film.
That's
Obviously, I
probably.
don't think the Elementals are going to be the big villain.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mysterio and possibly the Chameleon are going to be the big bads
I love that
of
theory.
the film.
I subscribe to it.
I can't wait to see if it plays out.
Any other villains you want to see in the Spider-Man universe, John, that you think might make an appearance in this film? I mean, we've seen hintings to. I mean, who all have we seen?
I mean, I like Rhino. He's just a giant thug, and he just rams over banks and takes their money. But he's not like a high level villain. He's just a goon, really.
Yeah.
The Vulture is pretty awesome. I mean, there's
Totally.
so many good villains. Spider-Man's got the second best roster of villains next to Batman.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's so many to choose from.
Scorpion, they hinted at in the last Spider-Man movie in the post-credit sequence.
That's right.
The dude, Vulture gets sent to prison, and you see the dude with the scorpion tattoo on his neck.
Yeah.
Happy Hogan looks great in this.
I know.
I am
I'm so glad
loving
he's in
the
this
relationship
movie.
between Happy and
Spider-Man.
Jon Favreau's character and Spider-Man. He's become almost his new
Surrogate
mentor,
father
his
kind
new
of thing,
surrogate
yeah.
father.
Yep.
Perfect leading out of Endgame.
I love it.
Because Happy has one of the most tear-jerky scenes in the entire film when he's sitting down with Iron Man's daughter at the front porch
Aw.
talking about cheeseburgers. And it's also interesting. The death of Tony Stark is it's akin to the death of Uncle Ben. They
Right.
never did the death of Uncle Ben in
You
this.
didn't say spoiler alert. To
Spoiler
everybody
alert.
watching.
Sorry,
guys.
I didn't do my Tom Holland spoiler alert at the beginning of this.
I'm sure most of your fans and watchers and viewers have already seen the movie, so
I would certainly hope
we
so.
can spoil it all we want.
Yeah,
We just saw it
Iron Man
last
dies. There,
Yeah,
Band-Aid.
Iron Man's
Rip the
dead.
Band-Aid. And they play in that really heavy in the beginning of this trailer.
Oh yeah, big time. But
You
like
know?
to John's point, I think it's great because it shows us fans that they are keeping the storylines going throughout the universe. So
And his contract's ended, so they had to kill him off anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Thor's living on. That's cool that he's with the
I
Guardians.
know.
Are you not excited about the Asgardians of the Galaxy?
oh my god, it's gonna be
So-
great.
yeah.
It's
'Cause
perfect.
Of all the series, that's my favorite. You know, the
I
fact they got
agree.
a badass raccoon just shooting everything in sight. You know, it's a fun series.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funner than X-Men or anything else that Marvel's got. I like it better than Avengers.
The Guardians?
Oh wow.
Yeah, the first Guardians I think was the best Marvel movie they came out with.
It's
yeah.
certainly in my
I-
top 3.
Yep.
We're not going to get into our top 3 Marvel movies. So that's a whole show in and of
Talk all
itself.
days about, yeah.
But yeah, that Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, another almost perfect trailer. It gave you so much dirt, so much awesomeness, and I guarantee you everything we saw in that trailer takes place in the first 30 minutes. I don't think we've seen any part of this movie.
I agree because I mean most of Tom Holland that you see is him in the beginning and fighting, and then he tells the cops, "I'm going on vacation."
Right.
So you know that's
That'll be the beginning. And then he's going to go to, where does he go to, like,
Paris,
Italy.
I think. Oh.
Because they're in, like, Venice, right? They're all on boats and stuff. He's going to run into the Elemental. Well, first he's going to run into Nick Fury. Then they're going to have a battle with the Elementals. And then after that battle,
Then Mysterio
then
comes
he
in.
meets Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the movie's going to happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love it. That's
I know.
perfect.
I'm excited. I love fan theorizing about plots, and I'm never right. I
right?
totally missed the mark on The Last Jedi,
And Endgame.
and Endgame, and Infinity War.
Well, that's why people like this stuff. It keeps you guessing.
Right,
You know?
Yeah.
exactly.
And the fans, I mean, it's like when you're in the playground, you're talking with your friends. Who would win a fight, Mr. T or Mr. Clean? You know,
Right.
It's like,
I gotta say,
I've
Mr.
never
T.
heard that one.
I
Good
just
one.
made it up, but you know, it's. Well, also you got like, you know, I was talking about who would win a fight, Aliens versus Predator. They actually make it.
They
these
made that
movies
movie.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I
It's
know.
Freddy
Great.
versus Jason.
Yep.
It's a good time to be alive right now if you're
Agreed.
if you're a fan of these great characters and all these cool.
It's an amazing time to be alive. We're living in the golden age of nerd cinema.
Right?
And it's not going to last forever, so enjoy it while it lasts, people.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse from here.
That's not true.
I mean, well, you know, unless Kevin Feige dies, I think we're good to go for a while.
Well, I remember when the internet came out, they were talking about this was going to be the death of the comic book shop, and that's not true. That's not what happened.
It's only fueled.
create
Yeah.
more fans. That's right.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yep.
And so
Yeah, comic book shops we're totally going off on a tangent here, but comic book shops were dying in the 90s.
Yep.
And then introduction of the web
cinematic
and more
universe,
access
too.
to independent comic
Yep.
book makers. And then the cinematic universe hits, and then bam. All thank you to Jon Favreau.
the Iron Man
Right.
came out and just made $1 billion, and then studios started looking at this stuff.
Yep.
You know, and DC's got a lot to catch up with because you know Marvel had them. You know, they had the money and they had the star power. And DC came out swinging out weak with Suicide Squad. Everyone knows
God.
that. But everyone loves Batman. Superman, in my opinion, is kind of played out. Superman is not a good. His movies aren't good because he's just too powerful. You know, it's hard to root for a guy who has little to no
Infinite
weaknesses.
yeah.
It's like Thanos
Wait.
with the gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just have Thanos. Everybody kind of wanted an Endgame for Thanos to have the gauntlet and be rocking the gauntlet. It's like he's unbeatable.
Right.
You got to take the gauntlet away from him and level the playing field a little bit.
Superman's got average to slightly above average intellect, but his greatest villain is Luthor, who's the mastermind of crime. Always just get him in traps and stuff. And you know, I'd like to see something besides.
Speaking of the mastermind of crime,
It's McCavity, the mystery cat over here. Yeah, Superman's got a weak list of robes. You know, we were
Yeah,
talking.
he's got
about-
one.
Yeah,
Two.
Really. Brainiac also. Jim Carrey was supposed to do Brainiac years ago.
Oh, interesting.
Riddler and Brainiac, huh?
Yeah, right.
Kevin Smith wrote a Superman script that didn't get picked up.
I know.
And Nick
Heard about
Cage.
that.
Was
The Nick
supposed to-
Cage one. Yep. Yep. It had Brainiac in it and everything.
Yeah, I want to read that. I'm sure it was going to be a bad ass
I'm
picture.
sure it was
you
too.
know?
Yeah,
Would've
they've
been great.
talked to Tim Burton, and he said, "Nah, it's never going to happen. Never
Thanks,
going to happen." Well, John, I want to get your opinion on the final trailer of the week that we want to break into. We've all known for a little while that HBO is working on a Watchmen series,
So cool.
limited series on